Bonsoir. Bienvenue dans Guitare Obsession, où aujourd'hui c'est un épisode un peu particulier, puisque dans quelques secondes je vais donner la parole à moi du passé. Donc il y a un peu un capharnaüm spatio-temporel, puisque nous allons retourner à Anaheim fin janvier pour le NAMM Show, où j'ai eu la chance et l'occasion d'interviewer Chris Van Tassel et J. Rockett. Alors, vous connaissez sans doute J. Rockett Audio. J'ai eu l'occasion d'ailleurs de faire une vidéo sur les 3 pédales les moins vendues de chez J. Rockett Audio, celles que personne ne connaît, mais qui sont hyper intéressantes malgré tout. Donc, je vous encourage à aller voir cette vidéo. Là, vous pouvez faire pause sur celle-là, ouvrir une nouvelle table. Non, pas celle-là, celle-là, non, pas celle-là. Et ensuite, donc, revenir à celle-là. Mais en tout cas, donc, c'est une marque qui fait partie de la deuxième vague de la pédale boutique et une marque évidemment centrale pour la deuxième vague de la pédale boutique qui à l'heure actuelle reste une des marques les plus intéressantes et qui évidemment est l'une des meilleures représentantes de la hype autour de la Klon Centaur puisque leur Archer est un best-seller absolu, toutes marques confondues. J'ai donc eu l'occasion de parler avec les 2 fondateurs de la marque, notamment J. Rockett qui a donné son nom à la marque. J'avoue que je m'étais même pas posé la question. Je trouvais juste que le nom était plutôt badass, plutôt Space Age, mais je m'étais pas dit qu'il y avait quelqu'un derrière. Évidemment, oui, Full Tone, c'est Michael Fuller plus Tone. Wampler, c'est Brian Wampler. GHS, c'est Josh H. Scott. Anna Sands, non, le mec s'appelle pas Alexandre Anna Sands, sinon ça se saurait. Donc je m'étais pas posé la question, mais en fait, le mec s'appelle effectivement J. Rockett. Et donc avec Chris, ils ont monté J. Rockett Audio en 2006. Donc ça fait presque 20 ans, donc ça nous rajeunit pas tellement. Et surtout, ils ont plein d'histoires passionnantes à raconter tous les deux. C'est l'une des premières fois que J. Rockett se montre en public. C'est plutôt un reclus d'ordinaire, donc vous allez voir, même dans l'interview, on en parle. On parle aussi de la fascination autour de la Klon Centaur, de la Archer et de la relation de Rockett par rapport à la Archer et la Klon. On parle de la Memory Man, puisqu'ils ont sorti leur version de la Memory Man, la Clockwork, qui a été conçue avec le papa de la Memory Man. Bref, c'est une interview qui m'a absolument passionné à réaliser et j'espère qu'elle vous passionnera à regarder. Alors évidemment, le son est pas super propre vu qu'on était dans un NAMM Show ultra bruyant où le bruit d'ambiance était à peu près 105 décibels. Donc bien sûr, des fois on n'entend pas très bien les voix, mais j'ai tout sous-titré. Ça m'a pris v'là du temps. Donc j'espère que ce sera assez fluide et intéressant à suivre pour vous. N'hésitez pas dans les commentaires à me dire si c'est le genre d'exercice que vous aimeriez revoir sur cette chaîne, si des interviews comme ça de créateurs ça vous intéresse ou pas, hein, vous avez le droit de dire pas. Mais en tout cas, donc n'hésitez pas dans les commentaires à me donner un retour sur cette vidéo un peu différente par rapport au reste de la chaîne. En tout cas, moi je me suis bien éclaté à avoir cette discussion avec eux. À tout à l'heure.
You're not a famous pedal builder. Your brand is famous, but you're not. Your face is not.
Right.
Yet.
Right.
Can you blame him?
No, boutique pedals are a really personality-driven market.
Yeah.
Because we all know the faces of, for better or worse, Michael Fuller and people like that.
Yes.
So, why would you choose to remain in the shadow if that's a choice?
Yeah, I want to know why.
What? I don't want to remain in the shadow at all anymore.
Okay.
I think for me, I'm kind of small picture about me. I'm just kind of a hermit kind of guy, kind of antisocial,
Right.
not unfriendly, but I'm a little antisocial to some degree. I don't like a lot of social situations, and I'm not very good about being in front of a camera. But I have to learn to be, and I want to be. So, but no, and we just came to the realization. You hit it right on the head. there are personalities behind the brand.
Right.
You know, nobody knows, like Chris felt that most people didn't even know I was a real person. It was just the name of a brand.
Yeah, exactly.
And they knew, a lot of people knew of Chris because he was pretty much the face and the voice of our brand. And I said, you know, it'd be great if we both did that, and I'm including myself in front of the camera as well, and talk about what we do and what we're passionate about. And that's why we're doing this. It's a kind of a new thing for us, a new attitude, if you will.
Glad to see you.
Yeah, thanks. Good to be seen, I suppose, right?
So what's the story of J Rockett as a builder? I mean, did you start probably DIY kits or stuff like that, or the famous Underton's manual?
No, actually, it's a long story. I'll try to really go quick. But the quick story of it is Chris would always come to me and say, you gotta try this pedal, this amp, whatever it was. And we're like, both of us would say, I just wish you could do this and that. And Chris had met this guy.
So you were a player first and foremost?
We were both players. I did ski film soundtracks in studio. He did a ton of studio work.
Right.
Very famous Hollywood studios. And then I forgot where I was at. Where was I at? I forgot where I was at. I had met this designer in Canada. His name was Mark Stevenson, and he was a very good amp builder, and he did some pedals.
Okay.
And we kind of commissioned him. It was like, we would like to build a pedal like this. And so I like that kind of stuff. I like to tinker with stuff. I'm like, I can tweak it. You know what I mean? And that's what I learned. I had a soldering iron, and I kind of like that stuff. So I'm like, okay, and that was my first foray into tweaking. I never did the DIY kits really. It was just out of necessity, quite honestly. And then I had to learn how that was built, and then I had to make it into a schematic and learn how the schematic works, and then how that translates into a board, etc. And then Chris and I just worked together on those designs and what we want for sounds, sonically, what type of overdrive, swirling pedal, this and that. And then we just worked together on that, the artwork and everything. It's really it's a team. It's like 2 or 3 of us, quite honestly. It's not just me. You know what I mean? And
it never is.
Really, no, it never is. And we just melt everybody's skill sets together, and we've created what we think is a brand that we're proud of.
When did the first pedal get made? When did the company really start to get rolling?
I would say 2003.
Okay, so second wave of boutique pedals, so to speak.
Yeah.
Like very early second wave.
Yeah, exactly.
Like same year as Earthquaker, Jay and
Pretty much, yeah, right around there. Wampler and all those guys, yeah. Yeah, we started off though, I don't know, we built to what we wanted, and we had no idea what the market would bear. You know what I mean? It was just more of a passion project.
Right.
So we introduced these copper-plated, super expensive pedals that they were using like hi-fi caps that were just big black boxes that had white gloves that came with them. Because when you touch the copper, it would fingerprint, right?
How's that for boutique?
Yeah. It was probably as boutique as you can get. I think we did 2 circuits. One was an overdrive, one was a boost. Then we
overdriving the blue notes, or did that come later?
It was called the Rockett Boost and the Afterburner was the overdrive. And they were great, but $500 is not going to go well with guitar players. So we learned that lesson the hard way.
Right.
But they were really boutique, because every single one of them was built on my kitchen table. True story. All of them.
Well, yeah, and then we evolved into what was called the Pro Series.
Yes.
The bigger Blue Note, or the Tim Pierce, that's the Pro Series. But those enclosures were so complicated, we finally said, all right, let's put our brains in it. We ended up coming out with that the Archer size box, the Tour Series.
You're having them purpose-built instead of using Hammond's standard enclosure.
Correct, yeah. So our actual metal shop that makes these for us they have a booth there. Called Hamilton Metal Craft. So they hand bend everything. Probably more expensive than we should be spending on an enclosure. But it's kind of like that gives us our identity, right? So
it makes a difference, yeah. How big of a turning point was the Archer for you?
Huge.
Huge?
Huge.
remember the thinking behind it?
Well, yeah, we ended up working with Bill Finnegan, the founder of Klon, and we built the first 1,500 KTR pedals.
Oh, the red ones?
The red ones, yeah. And so, you know, I don't know how to put this, but I guess we kind of tried to advise Bill to go a different direction.
There was some weirdness around that pedal, right?
Yeah, we didn't like the paragraph or the color or the price. We thought, hey, it's a better idea to pay homage to the original Klon.
The paragraph could come out as pretty obnoxious.
Well,
you don't want stuff written on your pedals.
Yeah, and here's one thing that Bill told me was, I'll kind of clean up the story, I guess. But basically, if you read the paragraph, there is a K, an L, an O, and an N that are translucent.
Right.
If you shine a light on them, right? And he was pretty impressed with that. And we were not. So anyway, we ended up getting stuck with a bunch of inventory. And we're like, well, what can we do with that?
Right.
And that's how the Archer came about.
Simple as that.
And it really was just an identification of what the market wanted.
Right.
Because nobody was going to spend that kind of money on a Klon. There was really no alternative. So we thought, man, we'll make one that's an affordable pedal that still has the quality of a Klon.
Right.
And of course, you know, every pedal's a little bit different. You could take two Klons and they're going to sound different from each other. But I think we got pretty darn close on it. And we're not spending $7,000 on it or worrying about it being stolen, right?
Right. Were you at all conscious that you would end up driving the prices up for the original stuff by doing the replica?
I don't know, did we?
I'm afraid you did, yeah.
Your fault. Your name's on the pedal.
I think even doing two different models for the gold and the silver one.
As you know, the world of the Klon is a bit of craziness. The magic diet.
That's putting it lightly.
And so, you know, there are people out there that believe the color makes a difference in sound. I hate to say it, but you know, there are a lot of reasons behind those two, but you know, a lot of people buy with their eyes.
Yeah,
they do. And
guilty as charged.
Yeah, and we learned along the way that, hey, I wish you had made a gold version.
Right.
Because that's the one they liked in the original Klon. So we gave the options. Now they are different. One has a different set of clipping diodes.
Yeah, but the select one was the larger one with the...
Yes.
Right. I wanted to talk to you about that one because I don't know if I'm right in thinking that, but I kind of got the feeling that that was a way of shutting people up once and for all about the magic diodes, right? Yeah, okay.
Yes.
I didn't say anything.
Right.
No, but it is true. It really just gives you the ability to assess for yourself.
Right.
Now, yes, when you crank the gain, you can hear a difference. When you crank the gain, you can't hear a difference, but it pretty much has to be cranked, and that's not where people run a Klon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because the way a Klon works is it's got a dual gain pot. In the bottom section, or one half of the pot, is reverse wired. So when you're turning up the overdrive, you're actually turning down the boost. And in that process, there's like this magic sweet spot where they meet. Right? So you're really not hitting the clipping diode very hard at all. It's really more acting like a boost with a little color, right?
How come people are not falling more for the EQ pedals? I mean, it should be ubiquitous, yet it's not.
Yeah.
It's such an easy way and brilliant way of like seeing your tone.
Yeah, I agree. And I think whether it's one of ours or any EQ, I don't know, maybe EQs are just not exciting. I also believe that most people don't really know how to use them.
Right.
Most people push EQ up instead of reducing or subtracting certain frequencies.
Subtractive EQ is the secret.
And so it can tend to make them really noisy. You know, because each fader has its own level of gain.
Can I also have your thoughts on the Clockwork? Because I think it's a pricey pedal, so obviously it's not going to be for everybody, but it does things that not a lot of pedals do.
Yeah. Well, I guess that might have been a project of passion. I'm a huge Deluxe Memory Man fan. And we were aware of the shortcomings and, of course, the prices.
Right.
It's kind of a tough pedal. It's kind of like I could say the Nobles, right? They sound great, but they weren't that reliable. They weren't very well built.
Right.
So we tried to just make a version that was authentic, that had the features that you wanted, the features that you wanted to add, and then try to maintain more consistency in the production and the reliability, which is why we wanted to work directly with Howard Davis. And they're expensive, and anybody in the pedal biz will tell you, it's just you're paying unbelievable prices for analog parts like brigade chips. And if you want to do it right, you just have to spend the money. And so you just apply the standard business formulas. Sure. And it kind of dictates the price. We always work on trying to get things down because, like I explained on our enclosures, we could go with a cheaper one. And I don't know if that would force people or inspire people to buy more Clockwork. I don't know.
Last question, and you may want to take a minute to think about it. Desert Island pedal, one from your brand, one from another brand.
Yeah, that is a tough one. It depends on what you want to play that day, right?
It's up to you.
I think I know on the Rockett side.
Okay.
Yes, I have mine on our side. And the other side's a tough one.
I know.
And I'll be honest with you, because I don't play a lot of other people's pedals anymore. I don't mean that in a bad way, but
No,
I'm
that's
kind
a
of
good sign.
spoiled.
I mean, you designed them all.
Yeah, I mean, we love these things. It's
Right.
it's not, these are our babies. It's like, could I put that in front of, ready for mine? My HRM version 2.
That's a good
mine.
one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Plus, I mean, you get a lot of different sounds, so you wouldn't get bored on the desert island.
I just love it. It's been a work in progress. We've been working on that thing for a while. Just love it. And the HRM version 1, which was, I thought, awesome. And then we made it even better. I was like, you know what I mean? So that's really, I love that thing.
Yeah, that's a real good one.
I don't like to pick a favorite, you know what I mean? But that was, I like it. It's your turn.
Well, now you have to answer the other one.
I know, I have to do that.
That's where I'm like, oh god, keep going.
We just do the Rockett first.
If I had to pick out of all of ours, it would probably be the Blue Note. Specifically the Pro Series.
Okay.
Only because of the hot switch, right? The
Right.
variety. If it's only going to be one. Boy, man, other people's pedals. Everybody makes great stuff. Everybody makes great stuff. Boy, that's a tough one. Because I'd probably go with something like really out of this.
Okay.
I would probably consider the full tone tape echo.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah, because there aren't that
When
many.
it works, it's really good.
Yeah, well, that's kind of like the real deal. So he built it perfectly. If that's the case. Because I do have an original Echoplex from I don't know 74 or something like that. And yeah, it sounds great when it works.
Yeah.
And that is hard. One put on the spot. It gave me a minute to think about it, but
No, I think you answered pretty well.
yeah.
How about you, Jay?
Talking about yesterday, Beatronics. I gotta say, I love Beatronics' work so much. I mean, from the circuit boards to the outside designs. That I want like any of those. Honestly,
It's a world unto itself,
I
really.
literally.
Yeah, I haven't thought of any. Like, I cannot think of a pedal maker that makes anything bad.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's
Yeah.
a great place to be today, right? It's just gold sounds better.
Because it's gold.
That's exactly right. Oh, we've had questions that you wouldn't believe. I had a guy call me once and ask me if we could figure out how to put tap tempo on the clipping diodes of an overdrive.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, just sit with that for a while ago.
That's
I don't even know how to
absolutely
answer
brilliant.
Yeah.
So how far did you go into that design?
Man, I think my brain short circuited on that one.
It was a good call. He called me. Look at this. We just laughed. It was a good laugh.
Yeah, that was good. And then I can't lie. I know we both thought about. I wonder if we can do that.
Right, of course. Yeah. What if it's a genius idea?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What happened? Yeah, I
But
don't
then
know.
again, it's probably not.
You know, that's true though, what he says. Yeah, we are not afraid to take something interesting on, you know, something unique, and we're like, we're not afraid. Let's see if we can make it work, you know, and we get a kick out of that. You know, it's exciting for us, you know, trying to do something different, so exciting for us.
Rebonsoir, c'est Julien du futur par rapport au Julien du passé que vous venez de voir, ou du présent si vous regardez cette vidéo au moment où je l'enregistre, qui est complètement impossible. J'espère que cette interview vous aura plu, n'hésitez pas donc dans les commentaires à me dire ce que vous en avez pensé, si vous avez appris des choses, ou en tout cas si ça vous a autant passionné que moi. Merci aussi de liker cette vidéo, de vous inscrire à la chaîne et de sonner la cloche, parce que YouTube ne relaie pas tellement mes vidéos, et évidemment, pour que cette chaîne continue d'exister, il faut que ces vidéos soient relayées. Donc merci pour votre participation. Merci aussi pour votre participation au Patreon. Ça, c'est ce qui me permet de justifier l'existence de cette chaîne. Donc n'hésitez pas et venez nous rejoindre. Et puis surtout, je vous souhaite une excellente semaine. Et la semaine prochaine, on se retrouve pour une démo, peut-être en rapport avec la vidéo que vous venez de voir.